A little bit north of me is a border town called Holmec. Now, in the greater context of the Yugoslav civil war with what we saw in Bosnia and Serbia and Kosovo, you have many war crimes and cases of ethnic cleansing and genocide. But the things that happened in Slovenia, because it's seen as a Western European first world country, got pushed under the rug. Now, there was an incident at Holmec on the Austrian border, which I believe qualifies as a war crime, but Slovenia has been mostly covering it up. And I don't know what should be done about it, if they should open it up really, because it's been decades since the 1991 Holmec incident. But essentially what happened as background is the Slovenes recognized that there was a large conflict brewing in Yugoslavia, and they declared independence.
What would tomorrow bring? Some moves by the federal government and army on the day when Slovenia proclaimed its independence was anything but friendly. The federal authority for controlling air traffic closed all 3 airports in Slovenia, and the army demonstrated its might at the border crossings and in the air. According to theory, the most dangerous time for the departure of Slovenia from Yugoslavia would be the first 24 hours.
So their main strategy was along the northern and western borders, the borders that lined Western European countries, democracies and free states. They had the border patrol essentially just switch uniforms to Slovenian, and they formed the Slovene border posts, and you were no longer entering Yugoslavia from Western Europe, you were entering Slovenia. And in one of these incidents, this creates, of course, all across the borders, easy targets. And the same thing happened in Lithuania, and those guys were massacred. But the easy targets for Yugoslav soldiers were along these border posts. And at one of them you see 3 men holding a white flag at Holmec. And they had their hands up, and they were slowly walking towards the Slovenians. And you hear gunshots, and they fall to the floor, and an ambulance rushes up, and you see them take a body and throw it on a gurney and ride off with it, speed off. You can tell the guy was either dying or dead. And Slovenia has said that this was not death, that they heard gunshots and ducked for cover, but you can see them go limp immediately. They just flop over. Just one incident in the war, but this was to mark Slovenia's move towards Europe and democracy. They finally cleaved off of Yugoslavia, and this is a good place to start the video, because after communism fell in the country, because Yugoslavia was a communist state, they started discovering these mass graves of people from after World War II, of civilians and of soldiers who had surrendered but were given no judicial process. Tens of thousands of people in hundreds of graves across the country. And these are going to be some of the places that we visit today.